Hello and welcome to another adventure of the Ostentatious with me, Austin Shock, here to talk to you at the basics of D&D. Today I'm going to show off another clip from a actual campaign that I was in. In this case, we are going to do battles. So, without further ado or explanation from me, let's dive right in. Rolling initiative to do something. So what that means is that in combat, we're going to see what our turn order is. You just roll the d20 and add your dexterity. So that's a 17 for me.
Okay. 17. Hubert is also 17.
If I had known you were going to do that, Uber Trooper, I would have cast haste on you. But of course I didn't know you were going to do that, so never mind.
Next time I will let you know about my spontaneous plans of destruction for the plot.
Yes, I should have known better.
And Nico?
Nico will remember that. 20
Excellent.
altogether.
So that was rolling initiative. Now let's get into some actual combat. By this point in the battle, the bird has had its turn. It has tried to pick me up twice and absolutely failed. Then our mage goes right up to the bird, aims a fireball at it, and misses. So because they miss, the bird is only going to take half damage. Let's take it from there.
And is not knocked prone. I was trying to knock it prone.
Okay.
So Uber Trooper could have had advantage on his attack.
I mean, for the time being, it is... Oh no, it's still up in the air. That's right, because I didn't get around to that last thing. That's okay.
Yep.
It is currently still...
And it would have taken fallen damage.
Yep.
I'm so upset.
All right.
Oh, that's one down. So I have one less spell.
We can make it work for next time.
Indeed. Ubachuba, that brings it to you in the order.
All right, so I'm going to stand up, which uses about half of my movement.
Okay.
And I'm going to use the rest to go 1, 2, 3 to get closer to the bard, and then I dingle, dingle, dingle the bell as loud as I can, and I say, Poobert, this is for you, and I throw it to him because odds are he'll be able to use it in better ways than I can, and now I have both hands free.
Delightful.
Hey, Uber Trooper, are you made of metal?
Yes. Well, metal,
Excellent.
wood, and lots of other things.
You have made. How much of you is metal?
So...
Metal, porcelain, probably about, 85% at least.
Excellent. Okay. This is great. I will enjoy this.
Don't see why I can't have both mixed together, you know, a nicely weird ally. Okay, so that is going to be, going to use athletics.
Yes, please.
I now have a plan
Yes.
if Uber Trooper gets taken.
So that's going to be a 10.
Okay. Okay, and it's a 10 to chuck it over to him.
Or at least to chuck it some way in his direction.
Okay.
You know, the annoying dingly thing that the bird thing
I was
hates.
gonna say you definitely get it in his direction. God, apparently I'm gonna make a symbol for the bell real quick here.
Perfect.
Just for kicks and giggles. None of these are properly bell-shaped. That's okay, I'll live with that.
I really want Uber Trooper to be taken up by this creature now.
I kind of do too, because then I'll be in much better range, and maybe even get to like climb up it and ride it.
Okay.
You have to understand that I took the spell Heat Metal.
Ooh.
Alright, so I think it does pick up Ubert's general direction. I'm gonna fill it with a color so that it's a little bit easier to see.
Perfect. Of course, now I get the roll. They probably would have rolled.
Which means if you get onto him and just hold on to him and I just heat you up
Yes.
every round.
I'm gonna say it gets about that far.
Awful.
Perfect.
However, with that said, it had a very interesting effect once you rang it and got near enough to those walls. It reverberates inside this temple.
Mm-hmm.
Oh no.
And it's the big blackbird does not like this. It seems to struggle with this for a moment, and it falters in its flight, actually to the point where it lands on the ground.
Perfect. Soundman is going to do much better at that than I will. I'm just stabby. So, Two really, really cool things to note here. Thing number one, please notice how all of us really play off of each other. We use each other's ideas. We give each other ideas. DM, players, everyone working together. A lot of really nice teamwork going on here. This is the kind of thing that I personally think everyone should be looking for in their D&D campaigns. Secondly, please note that what I did in here was not explicitly a combat action. I was not attacking something. I was not defending against something. Instead, what I was doing is I was taking an object and I was doing what's called a skill check, where I still get to roll a die and still get to try to do something, but is not specifically combat-oriented. That is still completely okay in a combat encounter. However, let's now move on to what happens when I try to actually attack something. Is it Fey or Elemental?
No.
Okay, so don't get that bonus. I'm going to then dash over to it and attack it as hard as I can, while letting Nico know that since this is going to be a continued blast of subwoofery, hot metal would be very good at any time, especially because I'm going to give it great big hugs.
Oh, good.
Are you going to be hitting it with that one?
With the boom, my one and only boom.
With the fire that you have or not?
Should I?
That's up to you. I'm not the one that controls that.
I'm saying yes, I should. So what exactly does that do?
Well, it explodes something.
Okay, I'm going to slash it once with my normal sword and then explodinate it with the other. So first the attack roll.
Okay.
Man, I'm not getting good attack rolls right now. That's an 11.
Nope, that does not hit.
All right, and then what do I roll for the explodinate? Just another attack roll?
It needs it needs to hit. Well, it triggers on a hit, so you have to hit it, and then it has to take a dexterity saving throw.
Perfect, which right now is kind of pinned to the ground.
Okay.
Yeah, that's going to be a 25 to
Yeah,
hit.
that hits.
Okay, so what's its dexterity saving throw?
All right, here, I'll hit you up. Ooh,
It should probably have disadvantage, all things considered.
I don't think it's going to need it, given that that was an 11.
It could roll
Okay,
a
so
1.
Austin, please roll 5d8.
Oh, no.
5 d8s, plus I'm going to add one more d8 on top of that
And what
for
kind of
my
damage is
Colossus Slayer. Alright, so here's what basically just happened. I got to attack the bird with my 2 swords, sword 1, sword 2. Because the sword 2 had a special magic rune on it put there by our rune priest, what I got to basically do was miss with one attack, and then when I hit, it activated the rune, causing extra damage. So that particular damage was a certain number of dice rolls. In this case, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that 8-sided die, and I am going to roll it 5 times for that particular damage. Now, because I am also a particular class, I get other bonuses, plus I then get to add on the damage for my explicit weapon. I'm going to skip all of that damage rolling. It just ended up being 34, so not terribly exciting, but still kind of fun, and move on to another time when someone actually rolls other damage with the use of magic through that heat metal that we keep talking about.
It's going to try to shake off our good friend Ubachuma.
Alright, what do I have to roll?
Do you want to roll athletics against my dex?
Yes, I can definitely do that.
Okay. I'm essentially rolling dex to see if I shake you off. You're rolling athletics to see if you can hang on.
What did you get?
That one!
Perfect.
Beautiful.
Yes.
All right. I feel like it tries to shake you off, and what happens instead is that it, like,
Can Rachel do another round of the hot metal damage? It basically shakes you in the position where the hot metal hurts it.
I was going to say, it shakes you off and it tries to buck you forward, and you just hold right on to its shadowy feathers and go plop right in its face. Yes, let's do another round of the heat damage, please.
Yes, this is in addition to the bonus action on her turn.
Delightful. This is... God, I love this. All right, so what do I roll for damage for the heat?
Rachel rolls 2d8.
Okay. Rachel, would you roll me 2d8, please?
Why exactly? I didn't follow that logic.
So basically, it shakes me off in such a bad way that my hot metal slams into it with enough force to do a slight activation and actually still hurt it. You get to do...
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. So 6.
All right, 6. Very sorry, State. Nico, you're up.
I would like to bonus action now. Thank you.
Alright, bonus action me. Bonus action me.
I'm bonus actioning you. Okay, 13.
It's dead!
Man, I was gonna hit it with my mace for the first time this entire game!
So that was combat in a nutshell. Basically how it works is you walk around the map, you either do an attack action, we attack the bird, or the bird attacks us, or you do a non-combat action like throwing the bell, and then you always roll to see how it turns out. Pretty darn simple, with the goal of the event usually being to knock the enemy down to 0 HP, but not always, and that does not necessarily mean the enemy is dead. Sometimes it just means that the enemy is knocked out, depending on your group, what you want to go for, and the feeling you want to have for the encounter. The other thing I'd like everyone to please notice is how well my group worked together. We've been playing together for a couple years now, so we do kind of know how each other works, but it was really kind of fun for me to go back and watch this and see how many ideas we actually did give each other, and see how we really built off of what everyone else was doing. This has been another adventure of the ostentatious. If you like to tell your friends, if you hated to tell your enemies, if you don't care either way, tell everyone. Today's episode focused on combat, specifically with real-world examples, which I will go over in more detail in terms of mechanics in another video. With that being said, well, that's the video. Stay safe, be amazing, and happy quarantine.